This is Lorenzo Cobiella, partner with the Gastesi, Lopez, and Mestre law firm, currently serving as your deputy town attorney. Today, we're going to go over some important rules, procedures, and regulations with regards to all town advisory committees and boards, including neighborhood service districts. These rules and regulations will help you on your journey as you serve the town of Miami Lakes. All committees are created for an initial one-year period. At the conclusion of that first-year period, the Town Council reviews the performance of the committees and the needs of the committees as it relates to the town. At that point in time, the Town Council may terminate the committee or continue it. At this point in time, most committees that have been created by the Town Council, with the exception of the Historical Committee, are continuing their service to the town of Miami Lakes. All meetings and business of the committees shall comply with the requirements of Chapters 119 and 286 of Florida statutes. What this means is that all meetings are open to the public at all times. All meetings must afford the public the opportunity to speak, participate, and provide their input. All documents that are provided or circulated during a public meeting are considered public documents. Any document, for that matter, that relates to any business of any committee is subject to public records law. For that reason, it is important that, as committee members, any document that you wish to have circulated with your committee members be provided first to your liaison. Your liaison will make sure that that document is remitted to the town clerk for safekeeping. When a person makes a public records request under Florida Statutes 119, Florida law states that the clerk must remit a copy of that document within a reasonable period of time. Please note that recordings and minutes of your meeting are also considered a public record. Be mindful of the words you say or the thoughts expressed, as these will be kept permanently by the town clerk and again will be subject to remission upon a public records request. The other important thing to keep in mind is sunshine. Florida in the sunshine, Florida Statute 286, requires that any meeting which is defined as communication between two or more committee members on any subject that is likely to come back before them for a vote must be done in a publicly noticed meeting, affording the public the opportunity to hear and participate in the discussion. What could be considered a public meeting? Well, Florida law has extended public meetings, rather private meetings, to mean a Facebook communication, an email, a fax, a text, a conversation by the phone, a conversation at Starbucks, a conversation at Publix. Any communication between two or more committee members that is likely to come back before them for a vote is considered a meeting. And any of this communication under Florida Statutes 286 must be done in the sunshine in a publicly noticed meeting. If there are any questions with regards to these very important Florida statutes, we ask that you please communicate with us, contact us, and we'll be more than happy to go more in detail with your concern and answer your questions regarding these two very important Florida laws. Also note that your meetings must be conducted in accordance to Robert's Rules of Procedure. If you have any questions with regards to Robert's Rules of Procedure or order, please contact our office so that we can guide you through this process. Regular meetings. Committees should hold public meetings at least once every month unless it's superseded by the resolution. This is important to make sure that the committees have constant communication with one another and are conducting the business of the town in a scheduled manner. Special meetings may be held upon the call of the chairperson or a majority of the committee upon 48 hours' notice. Special meetings shall be publicly noticed and are held at a location within the town-owned or leased facility as set by the chairperson. All chairpersons are required to meet at least quarterly with the town manager and or her designee at a publicly noticed meeting to coordinate activities and to strengthen communication among all committees. Subcommittees of a particular committee can be created by the chairperson for a specified time period to deal with an issue or matter with the approval of a majority of the committee members. Subcommittees shall select the chairperson and secretary for the subcommittee and will meet at the call of the subcommittee chairperson or as directed by a majority vote of the subcommittee. All subcommittee meetings shall be publicly noticed and shall be held at a town-owned or leased facilities. Subcommittees will report back to their findings and recommendations to the full committee at the next available regularly scheduled committee for a full vote of the body. Once a full vote of the body is taken, then the action of the subcommittee is then submitted to the council for direction. Public comment. An important part of our Sunshine Law requires that the public be provided access to all meetings and be afforded the opportunity to speak. This opportunity is usually at the beginning of the meeting and is usually for a period of 3 minutes. It's important to note that while the public does have the opportunity to speak and provide their input, and this is an important part of our democratic process, the public's comments should not supersede the set agenda by your chairperson. It is important to keep focus on the important business that your committee has before it. Quorum. Quorum means a majority of 50% of your committee plus one. What does this mean? If we have a committee of 4, then 3 must be present. Present means physically present at the meeting. During COVID, we have suspended some of these rules to allow for virtual meetings. However, this is only during this time of emergency. Once this time of emergency ends, then it will be a requirement for you to attend physically committee meetings. Voting. Each committee member shall be entitled to 1 vote on matters coming before their committee. The committee will act as a body in making all decisions. No committee member present at a meeting may abstain from voting only in cases of conflict of interest, as provided by Florida law and the applicable code of ethics adopted by Miami-Dade County or the town. A committee member must be physically present to vote, and proxy votes are not permitted. Attendance. Attendance is a very important part of your role as a committee member. If you fail to attend 3 regularly scheduled meetings in 1 calendar year, or participate in less than 50% of all budgeted and scheduled committee events, then you may be automatically removed from your committee, and the council member who appointed you to that committee will be notified of your removal. Please note that absences due to medical reasons shall be excused and shall not count as a failure to attend the meeting. It is important to notify your committee liaison and provide them with at least 72 hours with advance notice if you believe that you are going to be absent from your meeting. Please also provide any notice of any information that you may have with regards to your excused absence. Section 11, Appointments, Vacancies, and Resignations. Each person appointed to the committee is appointed by the town council in the following manner. Any qualified person wishing to serve on a committee shall submit his or her name, a brief resume, and a letter of intent to serve with the town clerk. The town clerk or the town clerk's designee shall notify the town council in writing of vacancies on the committees and provide completed applications. Appointments shall be made in accordance with Section 2.2 of the town charter. If a council member's appointment vacates the office, that council member shall be permitted to submit a replacement appointment. If any committee member has qualified for the office of mayor or town council member, they shall resign from the committee by the qualification date. Section 12, Qualifications. Members of the committees can either be a resident of the town or be employed in the town, own a business or property located in the town, be a non-town resident who has a particular interest in a committee and brings specific talent or expertise to the committee's intent as set forth in the resolution creating the committee, and, unless amended by the resolution creating or amending a committee, the minimum allowable age for a member shall be the age of majority, which is 18 years of age. Currently, the town's Youth Activities Task Force does provide in their resolution for the admittance of persons under the age of 18 years of age. For the neighborhood service districts, the following additional qualifications apply. In order to serve on a neighborhood service district advisory committee, that person must own and reside in a home within the special taxing district for which the advisory committee was created. For purpose of this section, reside will mean the person has established their home as their homestead as defined by Florida law. Additionally, they must adhere to all the requirements established by the committee's enacting resolution. Term of office. Each committee member will coincide their term with the appointing council member or the mayor, in the case of the mayor's appointee. Notwithstanding this, a sitting committee member can and shall continue to serve until an appointment is made, either after an election or a vacancy in a town office. The appointing council member or mayor may remove his or her appointed committee member at any regularly scheduled town council meeting, subject to confirmation of a majority of the town council. There are no term limits currently. Membership limitations, Section 14. No committee member shall serve on more than 2 committees or hold more than 1 elected office in any committee. Section 15. Compensation. No committee member can receive compensation for his or her service to the town. Oath. Every committee member must take and subscribe to either an oath or affirmation that will be filed by the town clerk, swearing to support, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and the state of Florida, the town of Miami Lakes Charter, all ordinance of the town and Miami-Dade County, and in all respects to faithfully discharge their duties. Appointed but not sworn committee members shall be responsible to an oath or affirmation before the town clerk or designee within 30 days from appointment. Failure to subscribe to an oath or affirmation within this 30-day period will result in automatic forfeiture of appointment. Please note that once your council member has been advised of your forfeiture, your council member can reappoint you for this position. Applicability of Florida law and committee rules, Section 17. All committee members shall be subject to applicable Florida law, Miami-Dade County Code of Ethics, town charter, town ordinances, town resolutions, and committee rules. Failure to abide by any of these may result in a committee member's automatic suspension, subject to removal by the town council. If there are any questions at any time with regards to any law that you may find applicable to you and your obligations as a committee member, our office is open to hear your concerns and provide you guidance in order for you to be able to abide by Florida law and by these committee rules. Financial disclosure requirement. As determined by the Florida Department of Ethics, no financial disclosure is required to be filed unless otherwise indicated. Section 19, Officer and Elections. Each committee shall elect officers, a chairperson, vice chairperson, and secretary annually, commencing on January 1st, to serve for a term of 1 year. Should an officer vacancy occur during this term, the committee shall hold an election for the vacant position at the next regularly scheduled committee meeting. Officers elected to fill vacancies shall serve the remainder of the term of the officer they are replacing. There are no term limits. Section 20, Mission Statement. All committees shall abide and execute the purpose of the committee as expressly detailed in the enabling resolution creating the town committee. Section 21, Duties of the Secretary. The secretary shall call the roll at the beginning of each meeting. The roll shall become part of the minutes. The secretary shall transmit the minutes of the last committee meeting to the town's committee liaison 7 calendar days before the next meeting of the committee. Minutes of all committee meetings shall be taken by the secretary and then forwarded to the town liaison or to the town clerk for filing. Section 22, Duties of the Chairperson. The agenda for all meetings of the committee shall be prepared by the chairperson. The chairperson shall transmit the agenda to the town committee liaison 7 calendar days before the next meeting of the committee. Additional agenda items may be proposed at any time by any member of the committee. Items proposed after the agenda is distributed may only be heard under new business and upon an affirmative vote of the majority of the committee members present at the meeting. Each agenda shall also include a section for public comment. The chairperson or his or her designee shall semi-annually present an oral report to the town council, which shall be submitted in writing to the town and will include a semi-annual to-date financial report. Both the content of the written report and the oral report shall be approved by the committee prior to submission or presentation to the town council. In the absence of a chairperson, the vice chairperson shall perform these duties. Section 23, Duties of the Town Committee Liaison. The town's committee liaison, or his or her designee, shall distribute the agenda and the minutes of the last committee meeting to the committee within 1 business day of the liaison's receipt of the agenda and the minutes. Section 24, Budget Request and Financial Controls. Annually, each June 1st, after consultation with the town manager, the committee shall submit a written report to the town, which shall include a budget request for the next fiscal year, for consideration in the preparation of the town's annual budget. Budget approval shall be made by the town council during the adoption of the annual budget. Town staff will be responsible for ensuring that all expenditures are properly documented and reconciled following generally accepted accounting principles. Once the town council adopts a budget, the committee shall be precluded from adding any additional budget categories to their respective committee budget, unless permitted through action by the town council. Throughout the year, it may become necessary to modify the committee's budget or reallocate expenditures. These changes occur because of unanticipated expenditures, reprioritization of alternatives, funding emergencies, or unanticipated changes in realized revenues. Budget modifications require committee action at a publicly noticed meeting. Any request over $700 for a modification in a committee budget shall be presented to the town manager or his or her designee at least 7 calendar days prior to the next available town council meeting for inclusion in the town council agenda. Said request shall include a description of the modification, the amount and reasons why the modification should be granted. The waiver of the 7 days can be provided and adopted by the town council. Section 25, Committee Membership by Town Council. Town council members shall not serve as members on committees or be appointed to committees. Section 26, Use of town's name and trademarks. No single member of a committee shall have the authority to represent, act on behalf of the town of Miami Lakes, or use the logo, seal, or any other intellectual property of the town or any town committee unless such act has been voted upon and approved by the town committee, and such request has been presented to and approved by the town council. It is strictly prohibited for any person to use the town name or trademarks for their own personal or commercial gain. Any violation of the section shall result in automatic suspension of the violator, subject to removal by the town council, and could include civil and or criminal penalties. Section 27, Use of Committee Shirt. Town committee shirts that may contain the town or town committee logo are considered intellectual property of the town of Miami Lakes and can only be worn at approved town committee or town-sponsored events, town committee or town council meetings, or in your performance of a town function associated with an approved town committee or town-sponsored event. Any other use of the committee shirt is strictly prohibited. Any violation of this section shall result in automatic suspension of the violator, subject to removal by the town council. Addendum. The following rules apply to neighborhood service district advisory committees, and they add on the special characteristics of these committees which serve our town's neighborhood service districts. Section 1A, Budget Request and Financial. Annually, each June 1st, after consultation with the town manager, the committee shall submit a written report to the town, including a budget request for the next fiscal year, for consideration in the preparation of the town's annual budget. Budget approval shall be made by the town council during adoption of the annual budget. Town staff will be responsible for ensuring that all expenditures are properly documented and reconciled following generally accepted accounting principles. Once the town council adopts a budget, the committees shall be precluded from adding additional budget categories to their respective committee budget, unless permitted through an action by the town council. Section 1B, straw ballot polling for capital improvements. Any requests for capital improvements that exceed 15% of the neighborhood service district's annual operating budget shall require a straw ballot poll from the residents residing within the special taxing district prior to any allocation of monies for that capital improvement. Section 1C, contingency reserve. Each special taxing district shall budget 10% of their annual budget for contingencies. Thank you for taking the time today to listen to these important rules and regulations that will help you be a more productive member to your committee. We thank you for your leadership and volunteerism.